When the weather is this bad outside, there's really only one thing left to do, and that's get inside and shop until we drop. So we are headed up to the Goodwill bins. I'm taking you along for the ride, like I always do. I'm gonna tell you what, you guys will not believe what I found in today's video. Okay, I'm totally lying. You know exactly what I found. Stay tuned. All right, quick reminder, something that I sourced in this trip today is going inside the subscriber only giveaway box. If you haven't hit the sub button, make sure you do that because you're not going to want to miss out on this item here. Now, if you were not aware that Juicy Couture velour tracksuits are now a bolo, they are, please be aware of it. It's funny, things come in and out, right? This is one of those things you couldn't give these away, I don't know however many months ago, and now they're super hot. Now, I have a girl's size 14 here for this top, couldn't find the bottoms. Pink, beautiful color. But when I do comparables for this, I'm going to price it as if it's a women's extra small because I think it would fit a lot of women that wear an extra small. And because of that, I'm going to price it at $40. But if you can find the tops and the bottoms, especially some of the more intricate designs, rhinestones on the back, doesn't even have to be that rhinestones, but $100 minimum for a lot of these tracksuits. They have absolutely come back into style. It might be a Y2K thing. But they have returned. They are big money bolos for a lot of them. Some of them, they're not going to command as high of a price, but a pink top and a pink bottom, you're usually good to go there. So that was a very fun find to pick up, even if it was a girl size. Not a big deal. I'm still going to grab it. Next thing that I grab here is in the hat rotation, once everything died down, I grab a couple of hats that I like. This is the ultimate hat, size 7 and 3/8. These aren't huge. There's a couple of solds and like there's one for 20, one for 40. This one does have the rope and then it's got sort of a braided piece to the top of it here. I like these boonie hats. They sell well for me, so I'll probably price this at $25 and we'll call it a day. Again, super light, and I sell a good number of them throughout the spring and summer months. Same thing with this hat here. This is actually the first time that I've ever seen a Minnetonka hat. Their moccasins they're like okay as a bolo. They're not the most expensive, or they don't command like the most high price if you find them pre-owned. This is the first time I've seen one of their hats too. It almost has like a little waxy kind of a feel to it. But this buffalo nickel hat is a size medium. It's black. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to list that one for $30. Same thing with the other one, very light, and I like to accumulate 3, 4, 5 hats where I can when I go to the outlet, for the simple fact that they are so light. I still am pretty picky, pretty selective when I go to the bins. I have a good mix of items in my inventory, a little bit of a death pile that needs to be tended to, but lots of good items ready to pull the trigger on and get listed. So I don't necessarily need to accumulate in bulk very fast. I kind of like to list at my own pace, grow at my own pace. I'm headed towards 1,600 listings, which is great growth for me from the start of the year. I started at around 1,400 listings, so checking to see if I can score anything else that somebody else may have missed. All the way at the bottom, doesn't really look like there's anything else here to kind of go on, but those two hats are definitely coming with me. And we'll move over to some more clothing. Now, this is an Homage t-shirt. I love picking up Homage t-shirts. They are headquartered here in Columbus, Ohio, so we do get a lot of them, and I see a lot of them. This is an NBA Jam, sort of a retro style shirt. It's not technically vintage, but it does have Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway on the front from their days when they played with the Orlando Magic. There's one currently listed for $84. It's the only one listed, but when you run the comparables, they're really like in the $30 range to maybe $40. So I'm going to push mine to $45 when I get it listed, which, you know, will blow the $85 one out of the water. Now, I could match that one, but just, you know, over 2 years worth of sales data, there hasn't really been one in that style that I could see that sold for over $40. So me going to $45, it makes me a little bit more comfortable that I would sell it in a reasonable amount of time. I haven't seen an NBA Jam shirt sell for over $85 from Homage for a long time. If there has been at all, I don't recall exactly, but $45 is definitely fair for a shirt that's only going to cost me 50 cents. I thought this would be a little bit better of a bolo here. I forget how you pronounce the name of the brand, Sucrefres or something like that. I don't know. It's brand new with tags, but the sold comparables were kind of non-existent, so we're going to have to leave that one behind. Somebody had mentioned the fact that the Super Mario Brothers franchise from Nintendo probably going to be a little bit more popular now because they have a movie coming out. That's correct, so definitely keep your eye out for those items. Just as an FYI, shout out to whoever that was that mentioned that in the comments. I really appreciate it. Next thing here, Black Rifle Coffee Company. Their t-shirts are an absolute bolo. I grab most of them when I see them. I think this is probably the third one that I have found here. It's got a chainsaw on the front, men's size XL. Listen, it's not going to make anybody rich. It's $20, but there's only 100 or so t-shirts listed, but 230 some have sold in the last 90 days alone. It is a popular brand, and I have to also mention it's veteran owned, and when you can support a veteran owned business, I really encourage you to do so, no matter how you feel about how the government handles the military. I don't agree with certain moves that they make, but I absolutely support our armed forces. Those enrolled currently in active duty and veterans, I salute you, I support you, and I encourage everybody else to do the same. It's a complicated issue. We live in a very complex, complicated world. I'm not going to get political, but Black Rifle Coffee Company, if you can support them, please try to do so. Next thing here, great bolo, and is this going to turn into Cashmere Planet? Mariel Waith, 100% cashmere, thin cable knit, like really beautiful sweatshirt. So one of the things you have to make sure when you've got an item this delicate is you're looking for things like holes. Unfortunately, I found one. You can see it right there on the shoulder area. So I put this in my cart, but I do leave it behind. But this turtleneck style, this brand is an absolute bolo, $30 to $40 in this, assuming the condition is, doesn't have a hole. I felt like when someone put that on over the shoulder, the hole would be a little bit more prominent, and so I wasn't comfortable bringing that thing home with the damage in that area. If it was in a different area, maybe a different story. So the shoes came out. I had terrible luck with what they delivered this round here. It was the only shoe rotation that I stayed for this day. I found one of these ACG Nike boots. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the other one, so I had to leave that behind. That would have been the best pair by far that I found this trip. There was another pair of Merrells that looked like they had a little bit too much damage for me, but I'm not going to grab anything that I see here in this rotation. I've got some really good shoes to list that I have sourced from the retail stores. So while I'm always trying to grow my inventory, there was nothing there that I was impressed with. So I moved over to another clothing rotation, scored this excellent Lululemon Swiftly Tech 2.0 women's long sleeve shirt. Now, this is the color, I think the exact color, the manufacturer's color is pink Savannah. Don't quote me on that, but just using Google Lens, I think that's the exact color. This is a women's size 10, even though the tag, most of it was missing. You don't have to use the manufacturer's color in your listing, although I think you will attract a more direct buyer, someone who knows exactly what they're looking for if you do. So you could just technically put pink in there and move the garment, but I'm going to use pink Savannah if it is the actual color, and we'll list that at $40. Mistake right here. This is a youth camo jacket. The brand I think was Walls right there. I have the ability to look this up after the fact, and so when I was doing comparables, I did them here and not there. And that's a $30 jacket, 25 to 30 bucks, even in the youth size. It kind of rivals Carhartt, right? And Carhartt's really popular right now. So I made a mistake there. I don't grab everything, but I'm kind of disappointed in myself. Like, why didn't I look that up there? I know better. That garment looked like it was well made. But I left it behind. I hope someone else that was there that day scored that, because it looks like it was a pretty easy $25 to $30. No big deal, because the next thing that I do source is a Viore. This is a full-length woman's jumpsuit. Now, the style on this is Luxe Harem. These are still available on their website. In fact, they've reduced the price to $58. The retail price on these was $98. So you can get it brand new in the XL size for $58. I'm going to list mine at $50, which I think is going to be fair for it being in excellent condition and pre-owned. I had all kinds of trouble trying to stretch that out there. So the comparables that I put up on the screen for you will show you and give you a little bit better indication what they look like on a model. And amazing brand, very easy to resell right now. Viore is very popular, and you've got spring and summer coming up, so I'm having some good luck sourcing their items. lately, and that was no exception. That's a really nice item to find, even in that size, because eventually it's going to sell out on Vuori's website, and the only place you're going to have to get that style is on the secondary marketplaces like eBay. So amazing find, 50 bucks on that. And I don't remember if there was anything else going on here. That looks exciting. Nope, nothing there. We're gonna have to move on. This, again, that looked like that could have been Carhartt, but that was Faded Glory. None of that matters because I found this with a long sleeve on one end and a long sleeve on the other end, and you guys know what it is. Patagonia, better sweater, quarter zip, men's size medium, unbelievable. And yeah, stay tuned, because when I am done with the sourcing portion of this video, we're going to talk more about this garment here. The better sweaters I anticipate will start to sell a little bit slower with spring and summer coming up, but it is a purchase at all costs, no matter what the season brand for me, and it just continues to fall into my lap. So they brought another rotation of hats and bags out. I really didn't have the energy to fight through this one here, so I took a little bit of a look and didn't really see much. I mean, there's probably plenty in there, but I left that for everybody else. And then I went back to where I found the Patagonia, and I scored this US 740N P jacket. These are definitely a bolo. This has to be either dry clean, or I'm going to be spending a lot of time with a lint brush or lint roller. So I probably dry clean. It's going to cost me about $7 to $10. It's a men's size 38. The last one sold for $90. This is not obviously the leather ones, so keep that in mind, but these are great sellers, and I'm going to, again, list this for $90. There's plenty that sell for over $100, but there was a lot of military gear that came out along the, with this jacket. This is the only piece that I grabbed. I could have probably grabbed a few more things, but I'm totally satisfied with what I have. So we're gonna get out of here. We'll look at one of these items a little bit closer here coming up, but another exciting trip to the Goodwill outlet. Taking a look at this, it almost looks like more charcoal than it does green. I thought it was green at the bins, but at any rate, men's medium and just in spectacular condition here, front and back. And there's only one thing left to do with this item, and that is drop that in this box. I absolutely have to share the love with you folks. I've had such good success and such luck finding this brand that I want to spread the love. So that's going in there, and there is, I mean, we're not even close to getting this bad boy filled, but that is going into the giveaway box. You might want to hit the subscribe button so that I can send this to one of you. £8 for everything you saw me source in that video, so $16 is what I spent for everything, and my total listed value, including the Patagonia, comes to $390, but of course I'm giving that to one of you. As a thank you for being a subscriber, Brendan here, Dad Planet, The One Man Show. Thanks so much for tuning in. We will see you in the next video.